Alma's recipe here. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today guys, I'm going to teach you guys how to make Mexican spaghetti. There's many ways to make it, but today we are going to make it Alma's way, easy and simple. But also somebody requested for this recipe, so there you have it guys. So vamos a empezar. For this recipe you're going to need 3 liters of water, 1 bag of spaghetti 16 ounces or 1 pound, 3 tablespoons of any oil you have, 1 tablespoon of salt, a quarter an onion, 2 garlics and 2 bay leaves, 2 pounds of red tomatoes. It needs to be really red, half a cup of water, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 cup of crema, queso panela or queso fresco, your choice, 2 garlics, a quarter an onion, 4 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna start by preheating our 3 liters of water. There is one, here's the second. So there's my 3rd liter of water. You do need to have a big pot so you can cook the spaghetti. So I'm gonna start by bringing my water to boil, and now I'm gonna it's not even hot, but I'm still gonna add everything in it. So I need my quarter an onion, my 2 garlics, my 2 bay leaves, my tablespoon of salt, and my 3 tablespoons of oil. So this one is so the spaghetti doesn't stick. So when everything starts bringing to boil, they all have the flavor now. Leave the water to start boil before we add our spaghetti. Follow the instruction in the back. In my packet said to cook it for 15 minutes. I'm gonna start by chopping my tomatoes and I'm gonna cut it in half. Just gonna cut it this part. But you see the little black thing, so I'm gonna just cut it too. And we don't need to cut it in very small pieces, but we do need to cut it in small enough for your blender to blender. So you see this part, we're gonna take it and we're gonna flip our tomato this way. We're gonna cut it around. See that? It's easy. And we are going to not use that part. This part we're gonna eliminate it too. So we're gonna put it in here, cut it in half, and then we're gonna flip the tomato like that. It's easy. And then it's cut in this way, and we eliminate that part too. The same thing with the tomato. We put it this way so it's not bubble all over and it's easy to cut it. And we do the same thing with each tomato. And then chopping all my tomatoes. As you can see, it's 2 pounds. So we do need 2 pounds. My tomato is pretty red. So I already have over here my quarter and an onion. Also, I'm gonna cut it like in kind of small pieces, not too small, but not too big. Garlic blends pretty well. So we're gonna put the garlic and our onions. First, we're gonna blend the stuff, and I'm gonna also blend it with the salt. That's gonna be first a step. And I'm just gonna put just a little water. I have my half a cup of water, but I'm just gonna put a little bit. And that's the first thing I'm gonna blend it first before I start blending with my tomato. And I'm gonna do kind of a small speed. And I'm gonna put a little bit more water so it can still blend. So now that we have our onions blended, why the reason we did that? It kind of give you a little bit more flavor, because back in the day when we used to blend everything in molcajete, you do everything pretty first, the garlic and then the salt. But well, today we have the blender. So now that we have all that, we're gonna add all our tomatoes. There's many ways you guys can make the spaghetti, the Mexican spaghetti. Sometimes you can cook the tomatoes first and then blend it, but it takes a little bit more time because to cook the tomatoes will take maybe 15 minutes. So we're gonna do uncook. So then from there I'm gonna just use my rest of my water. I'm only using half a cup, and we're gonna blend it really well. Okay, so when my tomatoes already blend, I'm gonna add the crema. A lot of people heat the tomato first, but sometimes when you put the cream, it kind of separates. So I think I find it's easy. It's better that way. The consistency is much better. Okay, now my sauce is done, so now we're gonna go to cook it. My water is boiled now. It's been like 10 minutes, so now it's time for adding my spaghetti. See, I'm not gonna break it, I'm just gonna leave it like that, and you see, it's gonna go down. And I'm gonna set up my timer for 15 minutes. I have my butter here, is 4 tables, and I'm gonna just cut it like in small pieces so that way the butter melts easy. Because sometimes the butter can burn really easy. We're just gonna pay attention not get it too hot. And I have my stove medium heat, so the butter is pretty much melting, and it's not super hot, which is okay. So I'm gonna add my tomatoes. As you can see, we're just gonna let it cook it over there for 15 minutes too. medium heat, and we can stir a couple times until the tomato and everything cooks and get the flavors and all the flavors combined together. So we're gonna cook it, and 15 minutes should be boiled, and that's what we want it. We want it to be boiled and cook and stir a couple times. Also, I wanted to mention about this salsa. There's many ways you can make it. You can add some oregano, or you can also change the flavor by adding some chili chipotle. You can also do that too, changing a little bit of flavor. But just the way it is right now, just with very simple ingredients, it tastes pretty good. This is one. It was one of my favorite when I was younger. Okay guys, so my spaghetti is done, and my spaghetti takes 15 minutes. Sometimes it's so like 7 ounces, so sure it's gonna take less, like 8 minutes. So to this point, I don't need any garlic, and I don't need the onions neither, and the belly leaves, we want to make sure we remove it. So my salsa is already done, it's already cooked. As you can see, it's already boiled. It changed the consistency already. It's kind of more red, it's not as much white, so it's pretty much done. And this one don't need any more salt because I put plenty salt to the spaghetti. Be careful you don't burn yourself. This is still a little hot. I didn't rinse my spaghetti. If you think this is too much for you, you can just use the half a bag. The half a bag is like 8 ounces. Stir and let it cook it for 2 minutes so the flavor incorporate. And this one, when it cools down, it kind of looks like more dry for sure. This is panela cheese, but you can use queso ranchero, queso fresco, whatever cheese you have in hand. And this one, we're gonna put the cheese when we're going to serve. So what we're gonna do to the queso, we're just gonna do like that. So when we serve the spaghetti, we can put plenty queso. You can also use queso cotija, whatever cheeses you favor. So now my spaghetti is done. And when the spaghetti cools down, right now you see how it looks a little bit of liquid. When it cools down, it's not gonna have that many liquid anymore. But right now it's you can actually start ready to eat. You can put it in a bowl. You can also combine it with chicken or whatever you want to, or just like that with plenty cheese. So we're just gonna turn it up. Okay guys, so there you have the spaghetti. Alma's way, easy and simple, but also very delicious guys. Give it a try. Hasta la vista.